In today's video, we're going to cover Reolink, a security camera that I'm using at my house. Now, what I want to cover today is not the setup and configuration of the actual camera, but the home automation piece of it, showing you how you could use it in Home Assistant to not only have your camera feed in Home Assistant in your own custom dashboard, but also notifications to your phone and other automations that you could use going forward. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. All right, so just to give you a little demonstration of what I mean, I'm going to go ahead and just wave my hand in front of my camera. As you can see, you will not see that the feed on the Home Assistant is not live in the dashboard. But if you did see the Camera One motion, this is an entity that comes with the camera that you could pull in through Home Assistant. It shows clear. Once I put my hand in front of it, you will see detected. At the same time, now you can see the picture. At the same time on my phone, as you can see, we are getting notifications, and here is test notifications. So just to show you again, I'll wave my hand in front, and now we have a notification from Home Assistant. Now this text could be whatever, you would like. In this case, I just threw some test message in there just to give you the idea of what I'm doing. So first, before we actually get into the tutorial, I just want to bring up the actual devices that I purchased from Amazon, and I'm going to show you not only the video recorder that we're seeing right now, but also the camera. This way, if you do decide to make this purchase, you could go ahead and get the same exact hardware that I am using, so you could go ahead and follow along in this video. I'm also going to post the links in the description below, so feel free to check that out. But with that being said, this is the device that I went with for a number of reasons. It has great reviews, but the biggest thing that I wanted to do when I was researching home security cameras was I wanted a device or a system that would not be connected to the internet in any way. I wanted everything to be local here in my home lab or in my home network. So this is what I went with, as that has that ability. And the reason why I went with this one specifically is because it has the PoE. So I could just go ahead and run up some Cat 5, Cat 6, whatever, all the way from the video recorder all the way up into the cameras. And I don't have to run any power or anything like that. Now, it also has 24/7 recording to pre-installed 2 terabyte hard drive. Great. And when I purchased this, it was also a little bit on sale. I can't remember the exact price. And I also got the Amazon Prime card, so I got all of this for free anyway. So that is something that you can look into as well. But this is the Reolink 8-channel network video recorder. Next up is the Reolink PoE security camera. Now, there is a list that you can find online that does have a bunch of different models that are compatible with Home Assistant. With that being said, this is the one that I picked out. They're all pretty similar in their ability to do different things. This one has different detection methods, has time lapse, works with smart home, like I just said. It is a PoE, which is a big requirement by me. IR night vision was another requirement. I needed some kind of night vision, otherwise it would just be pointless. Again, I needed it to be compatible with Home Assistant. This came with a pack of 2. There was a sale at the time when I purchased this item, and also, like I said, I got it with the Prime, so everything was free or close to being free. Now, I'm not going to actually show you on how to set this all up. I'm just going to bring you just based on the pictures and kind of talk through it really quick. It's very easy to set up. You got your power cable right here. You have an HDMI cable right here if you want to plug it into a monitor, which you will need to, at least for the initial setup. You have a USB port, and you also have one here in the front. That could be used for the mouse that comes with the video recorder itself. Then you have the LAN here. This is going to be necessary in order for you to have connection from your devices on your network. So go from your router or your network, your switch, and plug it in and bring this onto your network. And then here you're going to have 8 channels for your various cameras. So in this case, we're only going to have 1 and 2 or whatever, on however you want to plug it in. But that's a basic understanding of how this will all get set up. Once you go ahead and plug it in and get it onto your monitor and you're going through the initial prompts, they're all pretty straightforward questions. Not too much to go on, and you should be able to figure out yourself. But if you do have any questions, drop a comment down below and I will do my best to get you an answer. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start from nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this integration real quick, and then we'll start as if we never had one. All right, so I went ahead and I removed that integration. As you can see, we're getting some errors. All right, so once you have Home Assistant already set up, now if you're not familiar with setting up Home Assistant, I definitely have a few videos about that, so go check that out, and I will post that down in the description below. But with that being said, as soon as you get Home Assistant set up, head over to your settings down here at the bottom left, and then find the tab for devices and services. At the very bottom right, go ahead and click on Add Integration, search Reolink. Pretty straightforward. Click on that. You will also get the if everything is set up correctly. This is you plugging in your device to the internet or into your local LAN. Go ahead and click on the NVR. It's going to ask you for a username and password. This will be the username and password that you set up when you configured your device. So once you finish those initial prompts with plugging in your NVR, you will have a username and password. Go ahead and plug that in there for testing. And just for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to worry about the areas that this is going to be configured with, but at this point we now have our NVR or our Reolink integration set up. So if we go back into our test dashboard, it's already going to be set up, but we'll go ahead and just remove those real quick so it could show you exactly on what you need to do. So go ahead and click on a new section, and then you're going to go by entity and then just search camera. In my case, it was just camera 1, and then these are the different entities that came with it. If you scroll on down, you're going to see camera 1 right here, and it has the video feed. So go ahead and click on that. And then we're also going to want to bring in, you don't need it, but this is the sensor for the motion, and go ahead and click on continue. Add to dashboard, and there you go. So at this point, you now have your camera feed and your detection status for that camera feed here on your custom dashboard. You could obviously rename anything that you would like. So in this case, we could just say outdoor front camera. And now we have some indication as to what this camera is being used for. So next, in order to set up the automations, go ahead back into your settings, click on automation and scenes. Here you're going to see that I have a few automations. Here's a garage entry test for something else that I was playing with back in May, and here's the Reolink automation last triggered 8 minutes ago. Well, we will go ahead and create a new automation. Pretty straightforward. Click on create new automation. Now this could be as complicated as you would like, but in this case, for a simple notification to your phone, we're just going to go ahead and set up a possible trigger, or just set up a trigger and then an action. Now the trigger is going to be simply an entity, and we're going to look for, we're going to do state, and the entity is going to be the camera motion. So let's scroll down until we find the motion sensor that we had just discussed. Here you go, camera 1 motion. That's it for the entity. And then down here, we're going to say from. So it's going to be clear. And once it goes to detected, we want this trigger to be kicked off. And that's pretty much it for the trigger. Now, if you come down, we're going to leave the condition down here, default. And then we're going to go down in here into the action. Now I'm going to show you how to do it. It's pretty easy here as well. We're going to do notifications, and we're just going to go ahead and do notification send and notification, and then we're going to go down here into the actions. Now I'm not going to go into the actual device just because it has some hardware information in there. Not sure if it's relevant at all, but in this case, go ahead. First you have to download the companion app on your device. In my case, I have an Android device. I download the Home Assistant app, and then go ahead and just log in and into your Home Assistant on your local area network, and then that should register a entity for your mobile device. I will go ahead and actually just pull it up, and then I will just blur it out. So when I do notifications and we scroll down, you should see notification app. I'm not sure any of that is even identifiable. Not sure what that actually is, but I will just blur it out just in case. But you will see that it will say send a notification via mobile app SM, whatever the case is, whatever those last 5 digits are. Go ahead and just click on that. You will then get some options to add a message. In this case, I just did test message. We could actually do something more relevant. Outside camera. Actually, this would be title. And then here we could say motion detected. Subscribe for more. And then we will just click on save, label that as a test automation so I could delete it. And then that should be it. So now if we go ahead and pull up the phone, and if I go ahead and wave my hand in front of that camera, you're going to see that we got 2 notifications because we have 2 automations still enabled. We have the test one that I had set previously, and now we have our outdoor camera motion detected. Subscribe now. Now that is just one simple automation that you could do. So you could go ahead and get some notifications to your phone. Now there's a lot more things that you could do with it, and I'm going to cover these in a different video. But another thing that you could do is maybe based on if a camera is, maybe you have an indoor camera and you have motion detected, maybe turn on or turn off a light. Let's see. Maybe you could do some automations with if you are outside of your house. So if your phone is not detected within your house, go ahead and maybe send an email or send an SMS or, something along those lines. Maybe even a phone call, something like that. Maybe trigger off in a sound, some sounds, or change the lights to red. The possibilities are unlimited at this point once you start getting into home automation and setting up these different devices. So with that being said, that's going to close out today's video. In this video, we set up the Reolink camera in Home Assistant. I'm going to post the links in the description below. Definitely check those links out if you want to make sure that you get exactly what I have running here. Otherwise, I cannot promise that it will work. Obviously, it changes from device to device. So definitely check out those links down in the description below. That's going to close out today's video. As always, never stop learning.